Welcome back to Fallout 4, everyone. We're going to be working on some of the side quests that we got from Captain Kells. So the first one we got here is a duty or dishonor. And Captain Kells has ordered me to go investigate some missing supplies at the airport. So we need to go report to Night Sergeant Gaville for some more information about this. Alright, I don't know how many of the side missions that I missed, but we're going to try to do all of these, and I don't think we really have too much else we need to do in the game because... And I'm curious where this actually goes. I may just do this quest just to see, but we've already completed the game with the Brotherhood of Steel, so I'm just really interested, like, if I go and actually take this to Sturgis, like, what ends up happening. That being said, Curie, what are you doing over here?
Calibration test successful.
She's trying to hack the computers. Okay, anyways. Let's go figure out what's going on for Captain Kells. So, duty or dishonor, we need to go speak to Night Sergeant Gaville. And he's probably at the airport for what they said.
The Institute's fall be a lesson to anyone who risk tampering with our humanity.
Oh, look it! I didn't realize this. Liberty Prime's like up and walking around. I wonder if he's just like patrolling the area or what, you know? Does he just like kind of walk back and forth? Looks like he kind of does. I kind of wonder what would happen to him if he like helps patrol the streets. Be pretty awesome if we could have him as a companion, you know? Have him just kind of like following you around. Communists must die. Raiders perish. Fascinating. Okay. So let's see. We got Curie as our companion. Let's go ahead and hop down there. Hey, Devillian, how you doing tonight? I'm doing pretty good. I'm just gonna... I think this might be probably one of my last videos of Fallout 4, for this playthrough at least anyways. Oh, I know what I was doing. We were gonna go down to the airport. So I'm trying to just do a couple side missions that I missed before. And then I'm planning to hopefully talk about like some of my thoughts about the endings and stuff towards the end. I wrote down some notes to kind of think about it. Let's see. Looks like this kind of all went down. Too bad you can't launch one of these babies. Alright. Can we talk to Liberty Prime? Does he say anything? Doesn't look like it. Alright. Okay, let's go find the guy that we're looking for. Oh, I didn't realize they barricaded this up. Well, maybe that was always barricaded and I just didn't realize. Oh yeah, man, it is hot outside, dude. Today was miserable hot. What the hell? I think this week we're supposed to have a, like just a heat wave going through.
We may have liberated the Commonwealth, but our job is far from over.
I don't know if I've read this before. Supply log? Let's see what this says. So we got crates. Does that say 4 AAS? 4 A3S? Yeah, man, the humidity is no joke. Salvage patrol team, scimitar unsorted. Out crates transferred to Predwin for inventory and sort. Munitions patrol team Falchian. Let's see, remainder at recon. Squad Gladius salvage from Cambridge PD pre-sorted. Inventory report, 24 crates, food unaccounted for, 2 crates noted as missing in yesterday's report, vacuum tubes. Oh, 2 crates are noted as missing in yesterday's report, so there's some vacuum tubes located and refilled. Huh. Maybe we needed that.
Captain Kells
Let me guess. He says, let me guess, Captain Kells sent you? Yeah, he did.
That's right.
Let's take this somewhere more private. Follow me.
Okay, so we gotta go follow this guy. He wants to talk to
We've
us.
converted this section of the terminal into our primary supply depot. Everything the Brotherhood needs to operate passes through here. Supplies from the Pridwin, salvage from the field, we handle it all. Access is strictly limited to the logistics detail, and we track every crate, every bullet, every bolt that comes through that door.
Alright, what do you gotta tell me?
Which is why I don't take kindly to these accusations. I know every soldier in this unit. The thought that anyone would question their loyalty makes me sick. If you've got questions, ask. Otherwise, try to stay out of our way, sir.
Alright. Missing supplies. Let's see where to start.
Where should I begin my investigation?
You shouldn't. This is a waste of time. I've already spoken with my men. They haven't seen anything. Tegan's scribes just fouled up the books again. If you insist on questioning someone, go bother Lucia or Clark. I can spare them.
I think this guy is kind of suspicious because the fact that he doesn't want to participate, really, you know. Let me ask about Lucia and Clark.
Lucia and Clark?
Knight Lucia and Initiate Clark. They were just posted to this detail a few weeks ago. They're still learning their way around, but I'll have them in shape soon enough. If you have to badger someone with your questions, it might as well be them.
Alright, missing supplies.
Tell me about the missing supplies.
We're down over 20 crates, if you believe the scribes. All food. Dried meat, Instamash, mac and cheese. It doesn't make sense. I could see someone stealing weapons or tech, but our thief goes to all this trouble for a lifetime supply of cram?
I mean, they might really like cram, you know? You never know. How about logistics?
Tell me about the logistics division.
I've been in charge of this unit for almost 10 years now. We're a small group. We stick together. And we keep the Brotherhood running.
He didn't really give me a whole lot to go on here, so...
That's all for now, Sergeant.
Take my advice, sir. Poke around a little. Then tell the captain to let it go. It's not worth your time or mine.
Alright, he's already suspicious right now. I'm not going to talk to these two just yet. I want to go look at that terminal.
The thefts, right?
And see what we can find. So let's go ahead and read this and see what comes up. Oh, look, there's a vacuum tube.
This belongs in the garbage can, yes?
Okay, so I don't think he'd have anything on here suspicious, but we'll go ahead and see. So incoming supplies. Okay, we got steel bundles, 10mm ammunition, stim packs, missile launcher ammo, copper sheeting, electrical wiring, iron plating, type 1 ground barricades, frag grenades, a vertibird replacement rotor, cases clean, watered bottles. I wonder where they got clean watered bottles at. Med-X, Rad-X, Mirelurk eggs. I wonder why they had Mirelurk eggs in there. Fiber optics, cases of non-belt feed, 5mm, iBot logic unit, Abraxa cleaner, assorted bottles of liquor for Tegan. And then see what's here. Laser rifle firing coils, fusion cores, cases of assorted books, Quinlan, buff out, and crates of assorted fresh vegetables. Okay. What about outgoing? Pistol, stim pack. Okay. 50 rounds of fine mill. Let's see, a minigun. Okay, so we got a power armor T-60 night helmet, fusion core, and a laser rifle. Okay. I mean, a Fat Man nuke round. Boxes of metal spatulas. Nothing here kind of seems really out of the ordinary, I guess you would say. I don't think there was any other terminals or anything else around here. I didn't do like I didn't really like search this place too well. Let's see. This is where we had to come from when we were doing the Liberty Prime quest, but I don't think I actually like searched it very well. But for shits and giggles, let me come in here and see if there's anything worth checking out. It's actually got Protectron. What do we have in here? This is closed. Doesn't look like there's a terminal or anything that we can interact with here. And this is probably closed off as well too. Okay. You can hear Liberty Prime out there just stomping away. Making all kinds of noise.
I hope I live long enough to witness the Brotherhood's next triumph.
I'm sure you'll live long enough. Okay, let's see. What else do we got around here? Security gate. Just opens up to a random place around here. It's kind of weird. Oh, they have a security gate out here. I don't know. Not that the Brotherhood put it there, but it's just kind of, you know, it's just kind of there. Alright, let's go ahead and talk to this dude. He looks like he's up to something. Initiate Clark. What do you got for us?
Clark,
You're here about the thefts, right? Look, I already told Sergeant Gavel everything I know.
Watch your tone. You spoke with Gavel?
you already spoke with Gavel?
He questioned the entire unit. None of us saw anything. Look, I want to get to the bottom of this as much as anyone. What do you want to know?
Okay, security situation.
What's the security situation here like?
We're in the middle of a hardened military base, under constant guard. Nothing's getting in or out of here without us knowing about it.
Nothing gets in?
You really think the base is that secure?
We're in the middle of a hardened military base, under constant guard. Nothing's getting in or out of here without us knowing about it.
What about the missing supplies?
Tell me about the missing supplies.
I really don't know anything. I've heard the rumors, same as everyone else. That's all.
What rumors?
What rumors have you heard?
Well, they say raiders with stealth boys hit the terminal every night. That supplies disappear faster than we can bring them in. It's a lot of garbage. I usually work the night shift. Believe me, the only thing you risk dying of is boredom.
Interesting. So raiders, huh? Okay.
Tell me about the logistics unit.
There are what, 10 of us now? Something like that. Our division reports to Proctor Teagan, up on the Pridwin. Sergeant Gavel handles day-to-day operations. He's run logistics for years. Other than the sergeant, there's Lucia, me, the scribes, and a few other knights who aren't fit for field duty.
Oh, let's ask about Lucia.
Lucia?
Excuse me, Knight Lucia. We joined the Brotherhood together. She'll probably get assigned to a patrol team soon. Me? I'll still be stuck here.
Hey, James, how you doing? You said Clark's in the game? He is, isn't he?
That's all, Initiate.
Sir?
Initiate Clark. All right. Are these notes we can read? They are not. It'd be kind of neat if they were, actually. Be able to see what they said on them. All right, Curie. Let's see. What do you got for us? What do you think is happening around here?
We may have liberated the Commonwealth.
Okay, so we got one more person to talk to.
May the Institute's fall be a lesson to anyone who'd risk tampering with our
Go ahead and grab this stuff. All right, let's go talk to our other
heck of a job, Sentinel.
person over here. Knight Lucia.
Knight Lucia.
Copper wire. Could you tell me where... Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think we've met. Knight Lucia. Logistics. What can I do for you, Sentinel?
Well, time for some questions.
Do you have time for some questions?
Oh. You must be here about the missing supplies. I'm not sure I can be of much help, but, what do you want to know?
What's the security like around here?
It's tight. At least 2 knights and a scribe on duty at all times. And we've got the entire base right here. We don't have much to worry about.
What about the raiders, though?
Is there any way to get past all that security?
Well, you'd have to be in logistics. We're the only ones authorized to bring supplies in or out. Then what? Well, there's no way you'd get a full crate of supplies off base. With all the patrols, someone would notice. But why steal anything in the first place? The Brotherhood provides everything we need. No one here has any connection to the Commonwealth. I don't know. None of this makes any sense.
I think she's got a good point, but, like, there's always someone willing to try to make a buck or something like that, you know? It kind of makes me think, like, what kind of personal motivation someone would have with trying to steal something, and what do they stand to gain? As she really said, like, you don't really need much. The Brotherhood really provides what you need, so... And caps? What are you going to buy, you know? It's not like this is New Vegas. You're not going to go out gambling or what have you. Interesting. All right, let's ask about the missing
Sentinel?
supplies. All right, I'm going to answer you. Hold on. I'm thinking. Can't you tell I have my thinking cap on? Okay.
Do you know anything about the missing supplies?
Not really. I've heard it's mostly food and, vacuum tubes? No, sorry, they just lost those.
So this, the note that we picked up did say that there was 2 crates of vacuum tubes that were lost.
You lost some vacuum tubes? How often are supplies lost around here?
Someone had just filed them in the wrong place, apparently. Clark found them the next day. The little things do happen, but it never amounts to much. The sergeant may complain, but Proctor Tegan and his scribes are very thorough. 1 or 2 crates, maybe, but not this many.
What's it like working in logistics?
It's not a bad post. Sergeant Gavel is tough, but I've learned a lot from working here. I guess some people take to it and some don't. Like Clark.
Oh, let's speech one this.
What about Clark?
We joined the Brotherhood around the same time, about 2 years ago. We've always been friends. Well, until recently.
Oh. Oh, man. Can I pass this speech check? I don't think I can in the Shroud armor. Hold on a second. We need to make sure and pass this one. This is a red. And just like that. Shroud After Dark. What happened?
Why? What happened?
It was after the battle.
What battle?
The battle?
Battle for the airport. It was our first real combat mission. It was something to see. The Pridwin coming in under full vertibird escort, guns blazing. We were one of the first teams to hit the ground. Dozens of ferals. We opened fire and cut them down, and hunted the ones that tried to run. It was everything I had hoped for. But Clark, he hasn't been the same since. It's like he's just given up. Since then, I've noticed him slipping off by himself, once or twice a day. I never thought much of it, but do you think you could follow him? See what he's doing? His shift should be over in a few minutes. Maybe it's nothing, but I'm worried about him.
Okay, so we need to shadow Initiate Clark. Naughty Shroud indeed. Shroud After Dark. It always gets the answers we're looking for. Hey, One Big Burrito, how are you doing? Welcome to the channel. Alright, so we have to follow Initiate Clark. Let's hop back into our actual Shrouded Detective outfit here. And he is leaving. Let's see, where is he going though? Let's go ahead and see what he's up to.
The Brotherhood seems to have much knowledge they could share.
Please don't say he's coming this way. Alright, he is not. Is he going for that security gate? He sure is. I knew that was suspicious. We wouldn't have a security gate over here. Something's got to be going on. What's he up to? What are you up to? Wonder if I just gotta watch him or... Oh, he's moving. Okay. Here, let me do this really quick. We're gonna do a quick save in case I mess this up. Hey, oddball, how you doing? We're doing pretty good. I'm out here shadowing Initiate Clark, who seems to be up to no good. Oh, Nikes, he saw me. Oh, okay, hold on a second. Where did he go? Man, he did a double take. What do we got back here? I didn't think he was going to turn around and see if he was being followed. Man, I don't got any place I can hide around here. We got to hide in the bushes. We're going to pull a classic Looney Tunes move. If only I could pick up some bushes and have it walk with me, you know? Okay, well, we're still hidden, so... He doesn't know we're here. Alright. See, you said you're doing pretty good, oddball. It's been getting cooler where you're out. Whew, man, today was hot. It's still hot outside. My porch was like 100 degrees. he's going into a door over there. Okay, where does this lead to? Okay, we're still hidden. Okay, he went in. Alright, here we go. Boston Airport ruins. Let's see what happens. Find Initiate Clark. Okay. Oh, he went down?
Facilities.
Something went down.
This place is most unsettling.
Let's see, I can't get through there, so I think we actually gotta take the elevator down. Let's see if we have a ID
No
card.
use, not without a card.
Okay, we don't have an ID card. Okay, hold on a second. Oh, I don't really have any good weapons, do I? Shoot. I don't have anything. This is all I got. This is, well. Not really too quiet. Let's see. Exterminate the ghouls. Okay. Let's see, how many ghouls are we gonna have down here? Oh shit.
Someone is nearby. Perhaps they are friendly.
They are not friendly, Curie. Watch yourself, okay? We got ghouls around here. These things like to show up out of nowhere,
You
too.
should wash your hands after that. It can be unsanitary to handle the
Oh, what do we have in here? Who are you? Knight Rylan. Okay, he's got a holo tag. Does he have a note or anything? Knight Rylan. Okay, so we got this plot just thickened up. We got a dead knight around here. Somebody went snooping. Okay, we gotta be on the lookout for some more ghouls. Okay. We're gonna try to make this quiet. So it isn't exactly the most quietest weapon that I have, but it's gonna have to work for now. Okay, so we can go up there. I think that's where we have to head to. Trying to make sure we get the optional quest done, so that way I know that all the ghouls have been exterminated around here. That way I'm not missing any. Oh, I had a bloody mess victory there. See, we're still cautioned, but why? Why are we still cautioned? Aha. Okay. What do you have on you? Pre-war money? I'll take it. See, I don't think I see anything else over here. We're gonna see if we see any more Dead Brotherhood guys around here. Ooh, is it safe? Might as well see what's inside. Come on, come on. Almost got it. Almost.
Sweet.
Got it. Okay. So no more Dead Brotherhood guys around here. We'll keep searching. Gotta be something else around here. Okay. That looks pretty clear. Let's look around the back of this thing. I see ya. Oh. I heard some guys.
There is something nearby. The enemy has been spotted.
Jesus. Okay. Those were 2 legendaries. A cryogenic metal left arm. Wait, I'm still cautioned. Okay. What is this? A nimble, calibrated, powerful lever action rifle? 75% faster moving while aiming? What kind of a silencer suppressor is that thing on there? I've never seen something like that. It looks like it's like a like a sock tied at the end or something like that. That's pretty funny looking. How cool. I don't think I've ever seen a lever action with a suppressor on it though. Huh. Okay, there's another... Oh, it doesn't look like there's anyone else around here. Okay, I was cautioned, but... You know, the Reavers in Fallout 3 used to instill the fear of God in me. Like, they were creepy. What do we got here? A hardened sniper rifle? You know, I came across a Reaver in Fallout 3, and I was running, man. But in here, they don't seem to be really too tough. And I wish that was kind of the case that they were, that they... that they were tough hombres, you know. Okay, let's see what else we got in here. Oh. Gotcha. Okay. Wonder glue. Always nice to have. Okay. I don't see any more Brotherhood guys around so far. Oh, I see another one. Let's see if we can get him. Let's see if we can get him. Bam. Oh.
One must wonder, what causes the deterioration of this ghoul condition?
How'd that car just move? Tell me I wasn't the only one that's seen that. Okay, no Brotherhood guys over here. Knight Rylan. Okay, looks like there's some stuff here. We gotta be careful, otherwise we'll cause a fire. Let me take this rat away. Okay, no Brotherhood over here. Come on, Kiri. What are you doing over there? I need you. Oh. Okay. There's gotta be some more ghouls around here. I didn't expect this quest to be as involved as it was. Okay, that keeps going down. That's probably where we need to go. Oh, there's a glowing one right there. I can see him right now. Hold on a second before we go that way. I'm going to go this way. Looks like Kiri got stuck over there. That's unfortunate. Let's see, where does this take me to? Let's see. Shit. Okay, we got the legendary. That was a legendary guy. Should have been at least anyways. Okay. A cunning leather right leg, 1 agility and perception.
Don't chance it. Report suspicious activity immediately.
Oh, she scared the crap out of me. I can see like 2 more enemies, I think, over that way. Let me see what's inside this door over here. Let's see, Oddball, you said you feel like the ghoul character models were also a lot creepier in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. They were. Yeah. I'm not too sure why the change. Oh, Jesus.
Detecting an increase in radiation. Are you still intact?
Yeah, I think they were too. Maybe they thought, you know, someone just thought at some point, like, hey, this is a better look for him, you know.
You're worthless. Surely we can leave that behind.
I'm sure there's people that probably prefer the Oh man, 10 rads? Are you kidding me? Hold on a second, let me pop some radix. There's probably folks that prefer the look of the Fallout 4 ghouls compared to Fallout 3. But Me personally, though, I do like the way that the Fallout 3 ones looked. Okay, let's see. We're looking to see if we have any more Brotherhood guys around. You think they just got lazy when it came to Fallout 4? I mean, I don't know, honestly. And the reason why I say that is because there's so much detail in Fallout 4. Oh boy, we got a lot of guys around here somewhere. I feel like there's a lot of detail in Fallout 4. Oh boy.
My primary purpose is not as much rather than science. I believe the term is Yahoo.
Okay. So anyways, I was talking about the detail. There's a lot of detail in Fallout 4. And you could tell where they put special care in some of the detail that they threw into the game. And I think, like... the dialogue I will definitely agree with. I think because they went with a voice actor, I think, I don't know if it was necessarily lazy or if it's just a direction in the game they wanted to go. But for sure, I think the dialogue gave a little bit of missed opportunity. Because you pretty much had like a sarcastic option, you kind of had like a questioning option, you had a hostile, or I don't want to say hostile, but like a no and a yes. So like it seems like every dialogue option you come across, it's like yes, no, kind of sarcastic, and a questioning option. And that's pretty much consistent across the board for the most part. There may be a few hit or miss, but the dialogue. Let's see. It's like we have. I bet you this is for the. I bet you this is for the turret that I see up there to the left. But yeah, as far as the character models go, though, like some of the character models they did really, really, really good on, but just the choice they made with the ghouls, though, like I don't know. I don't know if it's just laziness, like you said, or if it was just a decision to like that's just what they wanted to do, you know. Let's see, Trick Gaunt. Let's see, wouldn't it be Gaunt? What about Frank?
That's it.
Turret control. Okay, so this is deactivated right now. You make a good point, though, James. Okay, let's see. Looks like there's some gas right here, so we gotta be careful shooting. Okay. So I don't know if this is the way I think this is the way I was supposed to go. Which means, let me go back over here because I think there was a pathway that I didn't go to, and I just want to go check it out really fast. Looks like there's a turret right there that I didn't see as well.
Keep it clean, Boston. Please dispose of food waste in the marked receptacles.
Oddball, you said you suppose it could be a timeline thing as well as a regional thing, but it doesn't make too much sense. The East Coast super mutants look slightly different than the West Coast. That could be a possibility. I mean, the FEV strain could have been slightly different, you know.
In the event of an emergency, please use call boxes to request police assistance.
But then again, like that's also a difference in just the games too, you know. All right, Kiri, you taking a break right now? That's good. Okay, I'm gonna go back out this way. I just want to check. There was a spot down this way, I think, that we could have gone, and I want to see what's down here. The glowing one. Okay, he's gone. Oh, Jesus Christ! He snuck up on me, didn't he? I was supposed to be the one doing some sneaking around here. Okay, what do we got down here? I need to pop another Rad-X. Let's see. Is there anything here, or am I just wasting my time? Looks like we got a duffel bag. Okay. Probably about it. Just that. Alright. I should have just cleared that one out. For some reason I thought that's the way we needed to go, but it wasn't. This is the way we need to go right here. Okay, so then we're going to head back down this direction. Let's see, that was a dead end. Right. Did the door open up? No, it doesn't. Okay. Man, Initiate Clark, he's been sitting there chilling for a hot minute.
In the event of an emergency, please use call boxes to request police assistance.
Oh, ho, ho, Nuka Cherry. Oh, I can pass that up. Okay. Let's go, Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Could have gotten everybody else in here. Hopefully. Pipe pistol. Okay. So we're not seeing any more Brotherhood of Steel guys. So far it was just the one dead knight, Knight Rylan. We don't know how he died. He might have gotten mixed up in something they shouldn't have. My only thought. Okay, Psycho. There's a terminal over there. We can go check it out and see what's on it really fast. Let me go and do that. See if we can sneak over here without making him aware of our... Okay, information desk terminal. What does this have on it? Okay, flight schedule. Connection failed. Okay. Food and drink. Beantown Brewery. Get a taste of a true Boston original. See real hops and brewing implements of our visitor-centered museum, and then enjoy a taste of some Boston's best ales and lagers. Full brewery tours are available by appointment only. We've been there too. Shamrock Tap House. So after a hard day's work, nothing beats a night at the pub. Come on down to the Shamrock for a good time, good friends, and great deals. Authentic Irish fare. Daily drink specials and the finest domestic and European beer, whiskey, and liquors on draught. Salanti. Okay. Shopping. So you got Fallon's department store. Whether you're searching for a new piece of jewelry or an entire wardrobe, Fallon's department store is the place to go, with multiple locations throughout the greater Boston area. Fallon's is always there when you need it. Clean, close, and convenient. Be sure to visit our flagship store in West Roxbury, now carrying our entire line of merchandise. And the Haymarket Mall. Fine art, handsome furnishings, the cutting edge of modern fashion. If you're looking for a shopping experience that's as classy and sophisticated as you are, look no further than Haymarket Mall. Haymarket for the finer things in life. Hey Kyan, how you doing? We are here again. And attractions. So we got Walk the Freedom Trail. Explore the fascinating history and enduring legacy of colonial Boston by walking the Freedom Trail. Scheduled tours depart from Boston Common every half hour, 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. Self-guided tours are also available. See the treasures of Jamaica Plain. Man, the first time going in there, I was like, this cracked me up. Come and see the fabulous treasures of Jamaica Plain. This stunning exhibit will only be on display for 1 week, only before the priceless items are sealed away, never to be seen again. And the Boston Public Library. The nation's second largest library, the Boston Public Library houses a wide array of books and historic records. Lectures, readings, and recitals are offered daily and are free to the public. Call for times. Art and architectural tours are also available. Visitors to the Boston are always welcome. Library books can be returned to any of the book return machines conveniently located throughout the city. Alright. Okay, so there wasn't really much there. What am I doing right now? We're working on a quest called Duty or Dishonor. Alright, I can't... I feel like I should have gotten all the ghouls. See if there's any more around here. It says optional, exterminate all the ghouls. I don't think I missed any though. Maybe we'll run into like one or two more. I'm usually pretty thorough when I do these things, so if I missed a ghoul, I'm kind of upset about that. Okay, there he is over there. All right.
Come on. Give it a try. There, that's it. Not bad, is it? Easy now. Hang on. I'll get you some more.
What is he doing? He's feeding the ghouls? Okay, he's got this place booby-trapped pretty good.
Huh? Who's there? Come out.
Alright, we're gonna confront him. Yeah, me.
Initiate.
What are you doing down here?
What are you doing?
Okay. What's going on here, Clark?
Someone was bound to catch me eventually. I can't keep this up forever.
He's feeding ghouls. That's why he's stealing all the food. But the vacuum tubes don't make sense though.
Keep what up?
Stealing food. I'm in logistics. No one even questioned me when I took them out of the terminal. I've been bringing them down here at night to feed the ghouls. It's been working. So far.
It's been working.
What do you mean it's been working? Why are you doing this?
It's a long story. I had a friend who was a ghoul once. As human as you or me. But the Brotherhood says ghouls are abominations. They all deserve to die. Would you kill him too? Just because of who he is?
Is he feral?
Was he a feral?
What difference does it make? Weren't they all human once? I joined the Brotherhood 2 years ago. In all that time, I never doubted our beliefs. Never questioned them. But during the battle for the airport, the ghouls, they just kept coming. I killed, I don't even know how many. They started running away, but we kept going. I killed them. I killed them all.
I mean, they're ghouls. What did you expect?
What did you expect? You knew what the Brotherhood stood for.
But I didn't. Not really. Not until that moment. After the battle. I needed some time to think. I found this place. And the ghouls. What could I do? Report it, and they'd all be killed. Ignore them, and they'd attack the base. I thought, if I brought them food, maybe they'd just stay down here. There wouldn't have to be any more killing. Do you think I did the right thing?
Do you? No.
Do you?
I don't know anymore. What are you gonna do with them?
What do you think?
What do you think we should do?
Just let them be. So long as they stay here, they aren't hurting anyone.
Oh, man. The Shroud has a heart. Our moral compass is trying to guide us into which direction here. I've killed plenty of ghouls, right? If he's not feral, then there should be no problem.
Well,
we can send them off to the slog, right? But if they're feral, then there's no redemption, you know, like there's no turning back. So I don't know, man. Listen, you should have done this so I don't have to do the dirty work here. I know. Long sigh.
They're a threat to the base. They have to be destroyed.
No, I won't just stand by and let you kill them. Not again.
Oh man, really? Is he really going to... Here, let's give him the holo tag.
I found this in the ruins.
It's Knight Ryland's holotag. He worked in the terminal with me. They killed him, didn't they? And as long as they're here, more Knights are gonna die. I can't be responsible for that. And what about me?
Yes, Kyan, we have morals. The Shroud has morals, all right? I think, you know, we stand for justice. Nobody will cross the Shroud, right? All right, let's see. Turn yourself in.
You should turn yourself in.
I suppose so. The captain will never
Kiri, dislike
understand,
that.
but it's the honorable thing to do. You might respect that, at least. I need a few minutes to get my thoughts together. Go on ahead. The elevator's in the next room. You can use my key card. I'll be up soon.
Holy moly, there's a lot of them down here.
Oh, there is to be fighting. Later, I will review these logs
Okay.
for relevant data.
Is that all of them? I guess we might see if there's any more. Airport employee ID card. The Zero Shroud that launches rockets at settlers. That was completely by accident. Maybe I can tell this guy not to turn himself in.
Hey, Clark.
Go on. I'll head up soon.
Ah, shit. Alright, we already messed it up. That's okay. Alright, let's go ahead and see what's on the facilities terminal. Listen, he did the right thing by turning himself in. Objective. Virtually. Startling.
I'm in.
Oh, there's a Protectron. Let's go ahead and activate it.
Password Aardvark? Such a funny word.
Aardvark? Kiri, you're so funny. Okay. Alright, how many more of these guys do we got down here? Looks like there might be another one over here somewhere. Aha, there is. Oh!
We are fighting? Why not a civilized discussion instead?
Okay. Alright, all the ghouls have been exterminated.
Situation normal.
What else do we got down here?
Order has been restored.
Let's go ahead and unlock this. Oh, come on. There we go.
Got it.
And where... Oh, okay, it just loops around. Where does this go? Hello. Oh, it just loops back around here. Okay. Alright, well, we might as well see what's inside the safe. First try. Holy moly.
That's it.
I'm getting pretty good at this. Let's see, let's go ahead and grab that. And let's grab that. Let's grab everything. Okay, let's go back and talk to Captain Kells. Okay. I think I saw something. Nope, we didn't see anything on there. All this cram, man. What else was he feeding him? Mac and cheese? Okay, so we need to go... Let's see. We need to go this way, I think? Yeah, in here.
Going up.
Well, that was an interesting little quest.
Lower level.
And... let's see. How can we get out of here? This way. Kind of wasn't expecting that. I thought it was going to be something else. Like raiders or something like that, you know? But it's kind of a turn of events that I wasn't expecting. right out into a rad storm. Wouldn't you believe it? Okay. Be interesting if some kind of like giant rad monster always came out every time a rad storm came around. That would give you some incentive to like seek shelter, you know? It's like, holy crap, the rad monster's coming out.
I hope I live long enough to witness the Brotherhood's next triumph.
We need to go find...
If you're done here, clear out. Sir.
Gavel.
We have work to do here.
Oh, he doesn't want to talk to me now. He's really upset. He's like, my men have done nothing wrong. Well. The Shroud has cracked the case. Justice prevails once again.
May the Institute's fall be
Alright, let's go see what Kells has for us.
I've just received word from Sergeant Gavel. Initiate Clark has made a full confession. I gather we have you to thank for it. Clark has been taken into custody, and I've dispatched a patrol team to secure the ruins. I don't think I could have asked for a better outcome. I have some caps for your service. Also, I'd like you to have a piece of armor from my personal collection. Wear it well, Sentinel.
Alright, so we got the Exemplars T60 Torso. It is a 10% reduction in action points cost and VATS. Very nice. So the Brotherhood missions are actually like... yeah, like, if you want to be able to get, like, the legendary sets for your power armor, like, this is definitely the way to go. Or at least be able to come here and grab these before whichever ending you want to take, you know, pick your choice.
There is another matter we need to discuss. Virgil. As long as that abomination lives, he's a threat to the Brotherhood. The time has come to deal with him.
How does he even know about Virgil? Does he, Who's this guy next to me? Alright, hold on a second. Let me think back through here. How does the Brotherhood know about Virgil? Oh, man. You know, for going through this game twice, I feel like I should know this story well enough now, but for some reason I cannot pin down why the Brotherhood knows about Virgil. Virgil kept to himself. He was with the Institute. They have the info that you recovered from the Institute. So, yeah, I was going to say he was with the Institute, got infected. He went and hid, and he wanted to try to... He was working on the serum and everything like that. So, why, oh why, would they want you to take out Virgil? I understand the Brotherhood does not like the super mutants. They did not like the super mutants in Fallout 3. They were like arch enemies, right? The super mutant threat was like the big overarching threat in Fallout 3. You know, you had ghouls, but it wasn't like, it was like the super mutants was like really like the big threat, you know? And the Enclave. It was like the Enclave and the super mutants were like the two biggest threats, you know? But then you get into here, and the Brotherhood here are just kind of all about like the death to the synths, you know? It's like the synths somehow it just seems really like unwarranted. Like we're like, you know, I don't know, I'm trying to place it because like I don't really think there wasn't really much like in Fallout 3 to go off of, like where the synths, like I don't know, like it feels kind of forced. But anyway, so I'm trying to think here. So the super mutants to me make sense because they were such a big threat in the capital wasteland. So I guess it could make sense. But let me see if we can actually speech check our way out of this one. He's been cured.
Virgil is no longer a super mutant. His cure worked. He's no threat to us.
What? That thing actually found a cure?
Yeah!
He can't be trusted. But as a human, he's trapped in the glowing sea.
Perfect timing on the idiot
savant.
savant.
Be an asset to us. All right, we'll continue to monitor him. For now, for your service, Allow me to offer you a new helm for your power armor. Wear it with pride.
All right. The Visionary's T60 helmet. Increased action speed or action point refresh speed. How would it be forced? With the synths? Like, where... So the Brotherhood hates the Institute, and Virgil turning into a super mutant makes it worse. So why does the Brotherhood hate the Institute so much? Like, they're coming here to the Commonwealth. They weren't here previously. They came here. I may have missed it, like in the terminals. I may have missed it, like in just a lot of the readings or what have you. And I cannot for the life of me, like, really recall, like, what Elder Maxon. But you know, in talking with Elder Maxon, like, he basically says, like, the Institute and the synths, like, are just because of the technology that they have. Okay, so I can understand that they are a technological threat per se, but why would they want to destroy the synths and not necessarily try to see if they could take over the synths? You know, like, wouldn't it be in their best interest to actually secure the technology? So they're basically immortals. They're like ghouls. They can replace humans. You know, they could. I understand. Like, I guess I understand that, but it just. I mean, they put the story there, but like the. I don't know. This, like I said, the super mutants to me, like, at least the super mutants don't have like logic to some degree. Like, they're just out to destroy anything that's not super mutants, you know. The Institute on the other hand, they're calculated. They're logical. They, right, wrong, or indifferent, like, they have a plan, you know, and they're not out like just wiping people out, you know. Like, it is. They do some bad things, you know, and I should say that, you know, we shouldn't condone what they do, but like, I don't know. It's like it's like the Brotherhood came here and they just made it like their sole mission. Like, they're an invading force. And they made it like their sole mission, just that they have to wipe out the Institute because they're like a threat to humanity. But like the Institute, or not the Institute, but like the Brotherhood didn't really kind of stand for that too. You know, at least like the way that they were. You know, they were all about like preservation of technology and what have you, and everything else kind of came second to that. So I don't know. I've been thinking about it a lot, especially as I was trying to put some notes together about like the endings and everything like that. This is a cool looking helmet. I really like the way this looks.
You've earned my respect, Sentinel. Not many can say that. Carry on, brother. Ad Victoriam.
Ad Victoriam. Okay. So that's all the quests I think he has for us.
Captain Kells.
A moment, Sentinel. We have squires in need of training. They're young recruits. They need a good example to follow. Someone to emulate. I realize the mission is simple on the surface, but you'd be helping to secure the Brotherhood's future.
I'm happy to help out.
Excellent. A squire will be waiting for you with a location down below. I trust you'll show him how it's done.
Leading by example. All right, let's go find the squire. So, Kyan, you said even Dima proves them right by being able to replace the leaders of other groups. I mean, we see it like with Warwick, with the mayor.
Vertibird docking systems, fusion coolant feed systems reporting green.
I don't know who else they replaced. Dance? Or was Dance? No, Dance is one that escaped. He wasn't like a replacement. No, let me turn this one on. Let's see, we need to go this way. Yeah, in Far Harbor, there was the leader of,
Far enough to witness the Brotherhood's next triumph.
There was the leader of that one area that you come into. Let's see, where do we gotta go? We gotta go down the airport. Like I said, I think, like, there's some things that, like, we can't condone from the Institute. They can also replace the leader of the Children of Adam if you follow that side of the quest line. Really? Oh, that would have been interesting to see.
It's not every day they let us squires out into the field.
Ah, who's this kid?
Ready to go, sir.
All right. What is our mission details, kid?
You know the mission?
Sir, yes, sir. I'm to observe you clearing locations for the glory of the Brotherhood, sir.
Well, looks like we have a hero here.
Not like you, sir. I've marked the location for you, sir.
So does he just follow us around now? Do I got like a second companion? Kiri, watch over this little kid. Make sure he doesn't get killed. What do I got a location that hasn't been explored yet on my compass? Or at least it looks like it hasn't been explored. Sure, it has been, but you know, normally they're filled in. Boston Airport ruins. Huh, maybe I didn't explore it beforehand. Weird. Okay. So we have to go to the Mass Pike Tunnel. Oops. Let's see, where? Oh, right over here. I was watching a video before I was playing tonight, and one of the things that I did not know is the Mass Pike.
Go get over here!
Holy Christ.
Oh, I am in combat.
Oh, shit! She's down! Oh! Shit! You killed him!
What? One of the things I didn't know is that the Mass Pike stood for Massachusetts Pike. It's one of like the name of the roads. So yeah, it says right there like Massachusetts Massachusetts Turnpike. That's what it stands for right there. Okay. There was someone up here. Let's go ahead and take him out really quick. A martyr's metal right leg. Temporary slows time.
I believe we're supposed to file a police report, yes? And all the little things go in baggies for evidence.
All the little things go in baggies for evidence. I love her comments. Okay. Alright, looks like we gotta go in here and clear it out. It's a pun too? Oh, I didn't know it was a pun. Oh man, something's going on in here. Wait a minute.
Time to reel him in.
So violent.
Okay. Hopefully our little kid doesn't get killed. There's a lot of ghouls down here. Oh, Christ. Let's get in and out. I don't like this place. Oh, Jesus. All right. Hey, was that everybody? I don't want to unlock that. Oh boy. Uh-oh. Oh boy. Uh-oh. We're getting a little overrun here. Stay with me, kid. He's just wandering off by himself. That's how you get accidented, kid. Look at this. You found a ghoul all by yourself.
Be careful.
Okay. Alright, there's one more dude up here somewhere. Oh no. Okay. I think that was it. What does he have to say?
Hi there.
That was exciting, sir.
Alright. Always enthusiastic?
You always this enthusiastic?
Yes, sir. You're my hero, sir.
Alright.
Yeah. Real exciting, kid. Let's get back.
Oh boy, it's something else.
Return to Lancer Captain Kells. Okay. Well, that was a fun little quest. He knew my friendly fire streak. He was trying to stay far away from me. He's like, man, I've heard about this guy. Everybody that goes and partners with him dies. Even in Oblivion, too. My friendly fire streak knows no bounds when it comes to games. I feel really bad about, what was her name? Rianne? Reiner or something like that from the Fighters Guild quest that I was doing yesterday in Oblivion. She got herself taken out by a log trap. Look, she split the party. You don't do that, okay? You stay with the group, you stay alive. That's how things work, alright? Once you go off by yourself, then all hell breaks loose, you know? You stick with the group. You know, there's got to be a couple rules. There's got to be like baseline help defend the Red Rocket truck stop. What the hell? Who's attacking the Red Rocket? There's got to be a couple Commonwealth rules that like you just have to follow, you know? And it's like, don't get greedy, you know, stick with the group, and like don't let your curiosity get the better of you. If you got like that bad gut feeling of like, oh, this doesn't feel right, then it probably is not going to end very well. So just don't do it. Oberlin Station. Don't shoot your teammates. Exactly. Make sure you always are aware of your surroundings and where your friends are at. Oh boy. Okay. Red Rocket's done. Now we gotta do Oberlin Station because all my places just decided they wanted to get attacked like at once right now. We didn't kill a settler, did we? No, it wasn't a settler. It couldn't have been a settler. It looked like it was a raider. I shot a settler in the back. I could have swore that was a raider.
Soon, I'll graduate tonight and get to take on missions like this on my own.
Oh man, super mutants. This might not end well.
Nothing.
Shooting at not someone is nearby. Perhaps they are friendly. Again, I have survived the hostilities.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Alright, hold on a second. I gotta go confirm something really quick. Did I indeed kill a settler? I know exactly where he would have been too. He would have been like right up over here. Ah, he's good.
Yes?
Provisioner's good. Ah, shit.
Lancer Captain Kells said it's gonna take a lot of hard work and discipline if I want to be as good as you.
Fuck, man. Well. I heard a super mutant around here somewhere. I could have swore that was a raider. Man, I did hear a super mutant. Oh, it was strong. Okay. All right. Well, we ain't coming back from that one. That was just a 100% mistake. All of the times we shoot friendly fires are mistakes, but that was like a really, really, really big mistake. He ran in front of me. All right. What else am I gonna do? Let's go turn this kid in before he gets hurt.
We may have liberated the Commonwealth. Our job is
I'm telling you, we have morals, man. And we have the rules, but sometimes it just, bad things happen. There's accidents, okay?
Welcome back. I take it the training mission went well?
It went without any issues whatsoever. What mission?
Roger that.
Well done. Our squires will always be in need of good training. If you have the time, I'd appreciate your continued assistance in guiding them.
The settler is like, cover me. 0. Full of lead. Got it. Alright.
I'm happy to help out.
Excellent. The squire will have the location. She'll meet you on the ground.
Okay, so this is the Radiant missions that he's going to give us, so it's not anything really new at this point. Okay. So I think we're pretty much well and done with most of our stuff now.
You've done a heck of a job, Sentinel.
We did our quests. We got the extra legendary pieces of armor. Oh, I just need to go and find all the pieces so we can put them on one of our power armor suits. I think I may have already put them on, but let me go check really quick. Let's see here. Which one was it? Was it the Tesla coil one? Yeah, it was. Let's go ahead and transfer. And let's put on the torso. And then oh, we had the Tesla torso. Where did that one come from? Did that come from Quincy? Visionary. So let's see here. I wonder if you can get left and right arms from the Brotherhood, or if it's basically like if you're just gonna have a full legendary set, like it's just basically the Tesla arms, and then you get the Exemplar's torso, honor, vengeance, and then the Visionary's helmet. Do any of y'all know if there's a left and right arm Brotherhood set that you can get to make kind of like a full Brotherhood legendary set, or is it basically just the legs, the torso, and the helmet? I didn't look it up. I don't know, but because we still have the Tesla torso. The Tesla torso came from a Rust Devil leader in one of the quests. Okay, all right. Yeah, that makes sense now. So if you didn't have that DLC, then in terms of base game, when it comes to a legendary piece of power armor set, like you would pretty much get the helmet, the chest piece. So you get the Exemplar's torso, the honor, the vengeance, and the helmet. But not necessarily the arms, though. You can keep doing Radiance until you get a new piece. Oh, so there is indeed more pieces you can get, but you have to do more of the Radiance. Do you know how many of them you have to do? Like is it a couple of them, or? Let's see here, because he gave me another leading by example. Oh, but it's random. Okay, so it's not actually like after a set amount. Okay. The T60 set looks pretty cool. Like, I'm, you know, as I go through and look at, like, all the different power armors that we have, the T-51, I think, I like the look of the T-51s. I think it's just kind of a very iconic look to the power armor. The XO1s look a little alienish to me. Like, I think they're kind of neat looking, but if I were to choose, you know, between like XO1 and the T-51, like, I think the T-51's got a really, like, to me, I like the look of like the helmet better. But the T-60 though, I think I like the look of the T-60 pretty good. And the T-45 looks very similar to the T-60. The T-60 I think was just kind of like an upgraded version of that.
I must apologize for the odd noises I'm currently emitting, a consequence of being mechanical in nature.
Yeah, I think if I were to kind of like rank power armors in terms of the style and look, like, I think definitely like the T-60 is probably my favorite looking one. You know, and the T-51, I think a T-51 just kind of like an iconic look. And then I'd have to say probably this version of the XO2 I think looks pretty cool. The XO2 looks pretty cool. The Hellfire, I don't know, I think kind of looks a little weird, but not too bad. This is the Red Devil one right here. This one doesn't look too bad. So, still pretty cool. Like, it's pretty nice to have, like, the different options. I didn't check all the paint jobs. I don't think I have too many paint jobs, honestly. We did paint one of them. We painted the shark set here.
We can keep traveling as much as you want. I don't require sleep or food in order to survive.
We got winterized prism, lead, titanium, explosive, vault tech, military paint.
How much we still have to discover out here.
Let's see. I'd have to... Man, I don't really have like a good set to be able to kind of move over here. This was like one of the more complete sets that we had.
All systems are a go, sir.
I suppose I can move this one over and paint it. So here's what I'm going to do. Let me do this really quick. I'm going to make some space so I can like move a set over. Okay, let's go ahead and put some of these weapons up really quick. So I'm going to put up that one. Okay. Each type. Oh, really? Each type has different paints to them? Interesting. Okay. Let's see, we got the Tesla torso and the T-60 helmet. All right, so we got 126 at 320. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Let me do this really quick. So let's go ahead and grab the shark set. And then I'm going to come over here. And I'm going to grab our legendary set. Let me grab this. So I'm going to grab these. And then apparel, we'll put on the shark set. Okay. So, now, let's go ahead and see what we can kind of paint this thing on really quick. So let me put these back on here. So if I go back to apparel, we're going to put on the torso, honor, the helmet, vengeance, and then the Tesla arms. Okay. So now we can come in here and craft, and then we're going to give it a paint job. We got hot rods, shark, enclave, military paint, vault tech paint. Oh, I don't think these are paintings actually. Let me go ahead and I want to see what the vault tech paint looks like on this thing. Okay, let's see. Paladin paint. Let's do the vault tech. Let's see, can we paint the... Here we go. Okay, let's see, what else do we got here? So we need... So we can paint this. Okay. Helmet should be painted already. Let's see, torso. Okay, let's see, we got the arms that we can paint. Hopefully this looks pretty cool. Okay, so I think everything should be painted now. Check Vault-Tec paint. Vault-Tec. Vault-Tec. Oh, Sentinel paint. Here we go. Let's go ahead and paint this to the Vault-Tec paint. Okay, now everything should be Vault-Tec it out. That doesn't look too bad. I thought maybe it'd have a bit more bright colors to it. You got like the yellow up the arms, and then really just kind of like the Vault-Tec blue a little bit, you know, to contrast with it a little bit. Surprised they don't have like a Vault-Tec. Like a Vault-Tec sign or something, like a Vault-Tec logo, like on the front or whatever.
Never fear, sir. I will ensure your safety to the best of my ability.
Because over here, you know, like the shark paint definitely has some cool little colors on it and everything like that. You got like this little happy little shark smile that we have here. All right, what about this one here? So we can paint this one. So let me go ahead and do this. Let me transfer, and we'll let's see. Let's go ahead and grab these. And let's swap it out with this sucker right here.
I wonder how long my
the Overboss set. Oops. Okay, so apparel. You think it's missing the logo because the chest is just a unique one? Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's go with a oh, whoops. I think I already had one painted here. I didn't realize I painted that on accident. Okay, let's see. So let's do a T60 helmet, left arm, left leg, torso, right arm.
Systems will endure these rugged
okay.
conditions.
Let me do one more set of this really quick. Okay. Alright, so I gotta make sure it's the ones that are checked, so I'm doing the right things here. So let's see here. So, oh, we got Minuteman paint. Let me see what the Minuteman paint looks like. Oh, wait a minute. So the T45? Is the T45 the only one you can do for the Minuteman? Oh. Do I have a full set of T45? Hold on a second. Let's go check this out really quick. I may. We might have a full set of T45, but I don't know, though. Okay. I don't know if I do. The only T45 that I think I have was the one that I made the shark one out of. But I'm going to check my inventory here really quick and just see if I have any T45 stuff. T's. Where are my T's? Here we go. Okay. Alright, let's see if we can make a full set here. So we need a left arm, left leg, right arm, right leg, torso, and I think we had a helmet on there if I recall. Okay, let's try this out really fast. So we need left arm, left leg, right arm. Fucking needs to be repaired. Oh, damn it. Christ, I don't have the helmet, do I? Oh, I got the right arm on there anyway, so I don't need that, actually. So I just need to find a T-45 helmet somewhere. Okay, let me see if we can do this really quick. Alright, so let's do the left arm. Minutemen.
Everything seems to be proceeding according to plan, sir.
Okay, left leg. Okay, right leg. And torso.
My onboard functions are operating at full capacity.
And then the helmet cannot be painted into Minutemen. So I need to go try to find a... Yeah, see, so that one has it. So this one probably doesn't, just because it's a unique one, like you were saying. Okay. I need to go find a T-45 helmet. Question is, who's got a T-45 helmet? T-60 helmet. T-60 helmet. That's a T-45 helmet. I probably don't have another T-45 helmet. Well, that is unfortunate. But not having our T-45 helmet anywhere. That's a T-60 helmet. That's a T-51 set.
There's so much ground to cover in the Commonwealth. Where
Well,
should we go next?
Ain't that a bitch? It's probably just this color right here, so just hit the I believe button and just kind of think that, like, this helmet now looks like that.
Jackson ensured I was well built.
We head now?
See here. Out of all the things that I picked up, I can't believe I don't really have any more T-45 helmets. Got a lot of Enclave sets. There's probably like a random T-45 set somewhere out there that probably has a helmet that I just missed. I know there's a couple power armor sets that I didn't grab. Like off the top of my head, I can think of there's one, the Glowing Sea, although I think that's just a chassis. There's two in Nuka-World that I didn't grab. I don't know if they had T-45 sets, though. Yeah, no, that's all we got. Well, that is a bummer. T-51 helmet. So I got a left arm. Let's see, when it comes to the T-51 set, so we got a left leg, right leg, torso, left arm, and a right arm, and a helmet. So we could do a T-51 set. Let me go ahead and pop one of those suckers on there really quick and see what it looks like. So let's grab the left leg, right leg, torso. Let's see. Left arm, helmet, and right arm.
His modifications will be adequate for quite some time.
Okay, let's let me do this really fast. Let's see, we don't want to replace any of those. We can replace this one right here. So okay, I know what I'm gonna do. We're gonna do this. Let me grab my Minuteman set that we just made. And we will go ahead and put on our T-51 set. Broken items cannot... Damn it. I gotta fix it. Oh, I know what I was doing. Yeah, let me go ahead and throw this on here. Okay, so we're gonna put the Minuteman set back on. Alright. Okay. I had a T-51 set right here, so let's do this. Okay, what do we have here? So that's a left arm. Let me take this left arm right here and put that on there. I know it kind of looks weird, but we're just going to leave it for now. I don't really feel like repairing something. And we'll go ahead and let me go ahead and put on this left arm. Not that one. This one. Okay, there we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and see what kind of paint jobs we can do for this thing. So we can do Abraxo and oh, you can do Railroad with the T-51. You can also do Sugar Bomb. Oh, you can do Vim. Okay. So it looks like what is unique to the T-51 is probably the Abraxo, the railroad, and the sugar bombs.
It's astounding how much we still have to discover.
I'm kind of thinking either sugar bombs or the Abraxo.
Traveling with you is proving to be quite uplifting.
Let's go ahead and check out the Abraxo. Let's see what this one looks like. Okay, let's see.
You lead the way, and I'll follow, sir.
At least it doesn't require anything to paint it. That's pretty cool.
Whiskey's running low. Better find some more, and soon.
Not a lot of folks would travel with a ghoul.
Oh, wrong one.
If there's anything I can do to lighten the load.
It's always fascinating watching you create. It's almost sunrise. I trust you'll
Hey.
have another pleasant day.
The Abraxo actually looks pretty cool. Storming through the streets, taking out some raiders, and they're like, "Oh my God, it's the Abraxo machine coming along." Actually, kind of like, "Hey, Curie, how are you doing? Long time no see. Can I help you?" "Thank you. Nice seeing you too." Look, even she likes the
It's
Abraxo.
astounding how much we still have to discover out here.
She is checking it out. All right. I actually like the look of the one. That one looks pretty cool. Pretty neat. This was, oh, this was the Vault-Tec one that I did.
It's a pleasure to serve with you, sir.
Commonwealth provides. Hey, what we
So yeah, couple different cool options here. Got the Minuteman set. We got our Abraxo set over here, the Shark set that we have over here, and then the unique ones that we picked up, the Red Devil, the Nuka-Cola Vim, and Vim. And then the Nuka-Cola Quantum, too. I like it. All right. So I don't think I really have too much more to do. Besides more Radiant missions at this point. Oh. I wanted... Okay, hold on a second. Let me do a quick save really fast. I did want to see... I never found the pink flames. No, I did not. I did want to see what happens if I do this one. Since we've already beaten the game, I'm just curious. Like, the Minutemen doesn't really go... I guess there's like an epic Minutemen Brotherhood fight or something like that. Let me see what happens here.
What's going on?
Oh, you know what? Well, it's like let me hard save this. Oh shit. I think it was this one that I saved over. I got way too many save files at this point. Okay.
Here's that holotape you gave me, full of Institute data. I hope.
Well, all right. I'll start digging into this and see if I can make heads or tails of it.
The Institute's destroyed, but let's go ahead and find a way to attack.
We need a way to bring the fight to them.
Let's hope we got something we can use. Well, they sure aren't gonna fall for that teleport hijacker trick twice, even if it wasn't a smoking pile of scrap metal. All the good stuff on here is gonna be encrypted. So the first job is to see if I can crack it. After that, well, I'll have to see what I've got. There's no telling what we might have grabbed off their mainframe.
At least it's not
I imagine the quest ends there.
Man, that thing's bright.
Because the next quest that we would get comes from Preston, if I recall.
almost morning. Good.
I trust you're enjoying my company.
I don't know where Preston went to. Could have swore I just saw him around somewhere. Where did I see him at? He's usually hanging around here picking vegetables or something. Ada, how are you doing? Well, when in doubt,
Gotta
ring the
chill in
bell.
my bones that won't come out. Too many nights out sleeping in the fog.
Perhaps it will lift.
Should be out front.
Do we have to get up?
Not sure how much of this fresh air and sunshine I can have.
There he is.
I cleared out the ghouls that were giving that settlement trouble.
Glad to hear it, General. It's hard enough out here without people having to worry about ghouls in their backyard. Got another thing to talk to you about.
Of course you
I'll mark
do,
the
Preston.
location on your map.
Thank you.
We wiped out that super mutant raiding party. They won't be attacking any more settlements.
Good to hear. One step at a time. We'll make the Commonwealth safe for people who just want to live in peace. The Institute is gone. I guess I'm glad about that. But you just killed everyone. There wasn't any other way?
There was not any other way. They were enemies.
I didn't have time to waste helping my enemies escape.
No, I don't accept that. The leaders of the Institute were your enemies. Maybe they all deserve to die. But that doesn't justify killing the innocent along with the guilty.
Man, he's really pissed.
What you did was mass.
He just literally walked off on me. He did not give a fuck, dude. He was just straight up like, you killed everybody, and I do not accept this. He pulled a straight up, like, Willy Wonka in the Charlie Factory on me and just was like, I said good day, sir. Man. Like, Preston is like the, you know, he's like the one that's supposed to be like the beacon of hope, you know? Like, it doesn't matter what happens. Like, he's always the one you can turn to that's, like, always going to have your back or whatever. But not this time. Not this time whatsoever. He was just straight up just like, nope, I don't want to talk to you anymore. And he walked off. Even if we had romanced him beforehand, I don't think the bromance would have held right now. Let me go talk to him, see if we can finish his sentence. I'm pretty sure that was a glitch.
Excuse me.
The Institute is gone. I guess I'm glad about that. But you just killed everyone. There wasn't any other way?
I didn't have time to waste helping my enemies escape.
No, I don't accept that. The leaders of the Institute were your enemies. Maybe they all deserve to die. But that doesn't justify killing the innocent along with the guilty. What you did was mass murder. Plain and simple. What's done is done. People are still gonna need the Minutemen for a long time. The Institute was hardly the only threat out there. I guess we better get back to work.
Made it another day in the Commonwealth. Lucky
He
us.
was, yeah, he wasn't happy about that, was he? Let's see, where's Piper at? See if I can talk to her really quick.
My databanks are continuing to
The Institute
accumulate
is
vast amounts of data
gone.
regarding the Commonwealth.
I guess I'm
Hey,
glad about
Piper.
that.
Let's see what she has to say.
Heading my way?
Nope.
You know what? Never mind.
You know where to find me.
I thought maybe she would have had like some something to say. Did I ever go? Did I go read the? Did I go read the newspaper after doing the Brotherhood ending, or did I only do it after the Railroad ending? I don't really quite remember which one I did it for. I'm just gonna sleep for a day or so. I'm gonna go back over to Diamond City really quick and see if there's a new newspaper for us. Oh, they don't talk unless they're active companions? That's okay. Well, Preston talked. Alright, let me head to Diamond City really quick. Diamond City, here we come.
Nothing's more satisfying than a...
Let's see what we got inside here. Oh, Preston only did it because there was a quest related to it? I gotcha. Let's see what we got here. The synthetic truth. Okay, so no, I gotta wait a couple of days, I guess. Maybe we can do it over here. Hold on a second.
Hey there, mister.
God, did you see that explosion? The old CIT ruins, they're just a big crater now.
I think I had to wait for, what was it, 3 days? I think it was like 3 days or something like that before the newspaper changed. so we'll give it a minute. I kind of, when it comes to like the endings, I'm kind of going a bit back and forth on which one I actually think I like the best. And I kind of thought about it between like the story arc.
The medical arts will not advance unless...
The Minutemen, like the Minutemen had like some follow-on stuff for us to do afterwards. Like, and maybe the other ones did too, and I just didn't like, I didn't come across everything. But you know, being able to see like Piper come and confront like Mayor McDonough.
These Brotherhood of Steel guys ain't too bad. Spend plenty
Let
of
me
money.
go see if it's over there.
Most people look at medicine
It
as
may
a
or may not
business
be.
these days. Makes no sense to share.
You said Piper. It's still the synthetic truth. Well, ain't that... Maybe I gotta zone in and out of somewhere. Let me go ahead and sit here and let me wait one more day. I think last time I waited 3 days and it changed. Let me wait one more day. Maybe you had to be like in a different area. Let's see, we're at 2288. I wonder when the game starts, and I didn't really check like the date of the game when it started, but we're at November 19th, 2288. So I wonder how many in-game days I spent by getting to where I'm at right now. I could probably go on Google and like find out and see. Nope, it's still the synthetic truth. All right, that's fine. Not a big deal. Well, I think that's it, you know, stats-wise. A few things I wanted to kind of just talk about before I kind of stop for the night. So I had thought about like the endings, you know, and you know, now that I've done all 4 endings, you know, kind of what I think, you know, and I think last time I was saying, you know, my favorite ending was probably the Minutemen, followed by like the Brotherhood of Steel. I think that probably still holds true a little bit. You know, if I were to say like the Minutemen, you know, what I was saying is like I think the Minutemen had like the most noble intent, you know, but like overall from like a story perspective, I think like the characterization of the Minutemen I think was kind of a little thin. So in the game, the Minutemen, they really I think represent the most ideal organization from like a grassroots revolution of, you know, trying to secure or provide peace and defense across the Commonwealth, you know. They really like fight for ideology, you know, not necessarily for like dominance or anything like that, but they're really trying to spread good, you know, for the people, you know, trying to offer protection and independence for all the local communities, and everything that you kind of do is built into kind of like the settlements, you know, and kind of like expanding the Minutemen's territory. So, you know, when we look at it, you know, from that kind of perspective, you know, everything the Minuteman like embodies is everything noble in like the chaotic world of the Commonwealth wasteland that we're in. From a story perspective, I think the Minuteman story arc in the game definitely had like a lack of structure to it, and there wasn't really a lot of like meaningful like character development to some of the main characters that we encounter. You know, like, so starting back from the very first part of the game, our very first encounter with the Minutemen was during the rescue of Preston Garvey, and as well as the settlers that he was with, you know. And so we find them in the Museum of Freedom there in Concord, and they're being attacked by some raiders. And that is really like kind of our first,
I have somewhere
you
to
know,
be. Sorry.
Oh, freaking mayor, man, what is he doing here? That's really like kind of like our first grounded start into a like direct act of heroism. Is that Piper right there? Did she come all the way over here? Come on, so let me talk to her.
Piper.
Heading my way?
Oh.
You know what? Never mind.
You know where to find me.
Huh. That's her. She came all the way over here.
Latest hairstyles from the upper...
So what was I saying here? Oh yeah, so after the introduction with the Minutemen, the story arc that we kind of run through with the Minutemen is kind of a series of, errands that we have to do. A lot of like, go out and secure this settlement, go out and provide defense for this settlement. But, it's kind of flat in there. There's not really like an escalation of tension. There's not really like no deep philosophical conflict that we face with the settlements themselves. You're really just there to provide help to the settlements that we come across and really just kind of like spread and gain influence. And eventually you just become like the general of the Minutemen. But the key and transition from turning like from a collective community defense organization into an all-out open war against the Institute, to me, as I'm going through the game, it was very, kind of abrupt, and I don't think it was explained very well in the game. It was just kind of, I think there was a lot of missed opportunities in trying to get there. And so, how do we go from a, collective defense organization providing, common defense for the settlements that we're expanding our influence across to all of a sudden now the Institute's just like the major massive threat. We have to launch like a major assault, against like the most advanced faction in the game. So, and Preston, as kind of like the character that we're interfacing with, he's really like kind of like the face of the Minutemen that we're engaging with, but his character really doesn't go beyond that initial idealism that we kind of work with. So he's very just constantly kind of supporting and helping others, and that's really what I think he's a lot of about. But he never really truly like reflects on the cost or the implications of like what warfare is, and I think there's some of that that's just missed, when we go to the Quincy ruins and kind of explore there. So other than really Preston, the faction itself doesn't really have any other major named figures. We have Mama Murphy, and the fact that I can't even name any of them, it just kind of leads to like that they just weren't really memorable characters for me. Marcy, or I think her name was, or whatever, but there's not really like an internal debate. There's no dissenters, no ideological tension within the group or whatever. They're literally just hanging around the settlement the whole time, and then you're just spanning there. So I think it really hurts like the faction's believability, in the group. So, in a world that's as fractured as the Commonwealth wasteland that we are, there should be someone that would be questioning like what's going on here, or the leadership or something like that. And so as you get to the end with the Minutemen, it offers to me, like, I think, which was the most peaceful solution that I was trying to go after, as it didn't have to come at the cost of any of the other factions that we were going with. But it really came at the cost of like no emotional weight. There was no character conflict. It was just kind of noble, but it was just kind of hollow on surface, So I liked it, but I think those are some of the issues that I have with it. Now, if I transition to like the Brotherhood of Steel ending, it was very structured conflict, and it had a lot of like complex loyalty that lied within the Brotherhood of Steel. So to me, I think the Brotherhood of Steel is, from the other games that I have played, it's one of the more traditional narrative arcs that we see in the story. So, in our first really encounter with the Brotherhood of Steel in Fallout 4, you meet Paladin Danse right off the bat, Knight Reese, Scribe Halen, and they are, held up being attacked by a bunch of ghouls, and we come in and save them, and help them out, and it kind of like builds upon from there. So where I think we see the arc of the Brotherhood of Steel is we start off, getting our introduction to the initial band of characters, and we get to see some development and build up by going out and finding like the recon team, and how that transitions with Danse and his storyline. We get to see the arrival of the Pridwin and Elder Maxon, and then how that escalates into the war against the Institute and the Railroad, and everything kind of builds with a lot of dramatic intent, And Paladin Danse, really, to me, is one of the best written characters, I think, in Fallout 4. He is like one of the emotional central cores of the route that you go with the Brotherhood of Steel. So from his initial, understanding to him, he's a very loyal soldier. And it isn't really discovered about like his synth origins until, much later in the game, through that storyline. And I think that is probably one of the most powerful components of the story with the Brotherhood of Steel, or even just Fallout 4 story in general, that, you know, that revelation that you went through. I remember the first time kind of seeing that was just, you know, jaw-dropping for me, and that really forces you to have to make a difficult choice. I was glad that I was able to make the choice that I did in this playthrough, but in my first playthrough, it definitely didn't go the way that I wanted to. But it really, as you get into it, it really challenges how the Brotherhood's black and white view of technology and identity is kind of formed and centralized, you know? And I think it's one of the only factions in Fallout 4 that really puts you as a player, and it tests, you know, like the values that you hold, or how you want to kind of go through it. So, you know, Elder Maxon, I think, was pretty well developed out. You know, if you had played Fallout 3 and if you had read a lot of the terminals and everything like that in Fallout 4, you know, as a faction leader, he's a very charismatic leader. You know, he's authoritative, he's rigid, like he is, you know, like just they built his character very well, I think, in Fallout 4. And, you know, his militarism that we have, it brings a lot of order to the Commonwealth, you know, but he has some very extreme views about synths, and we were talking about that earlier. You know, he has extreme views on the super mutants, which I think is justified based off of what we see from how the Brotherhood interacted with the super mutants in Fallout 4. But it really sheds light on a much darker side of the Brotherhood as it is. So, and the relationship that we as the player have with him, you know, can really, it really evolves over the course of the story arc, you know, from a lot of suspicion to like just kind of like a vault dweller, like a wasteland nobody, you know, to developing a really deep trust and bond with Elder Maxon, and his ideological like resolve that he has really helped shape, I think, the overall course of the story that we go through. You know, and then we have some pretty memorable characters, you know, and this really hit me hard too, as we had to do like one of the endings, I think it was with the railroad, you know, but like Scribe Halen and Knight Reese, you know, Knight Reese, I think, comes off really, really, really good, you know, early on. Like he's a fucking asshole, you know, and he just, you know, is a very hardened idealist, you know. Scribe Halen, on the other hand, you know, she's a really good character, you know, I think she means well. But she begins to question kind of like what the Brotherhood is standing about some of their policies, you know, especially if you're going along Paladin Dance's storyline. So I think the side characters like Knight Reese and Scribe Halen, I think, really help build out the Brotherhood quite a bit. And then, you know, their character stories kind of reflect a lot of like the internal tension that exists within the Brotherhood, you know. And I feel like that in itself is like what we were missing, like with the Minutemen, you know, and it helps make the organization feel a lot more real with what they're dealing with. Hell, even the quest line that we just did at the beginning of this episode, you know, with Initiate Clark, you know, and like the whole thing with the ghouls and like, you know, the tension that he was feeling, like what he was going through. It's just things like that that we get to that I think makes the Brotherhood a much more a deeply written organization for the game. So I will say, like, I think the weaker point with the Brotherhood is as it relates to the confrontation with the railroad that we run into. There's no meaningful buildup that really justifies like why we have to go and actually do that. You know, the Brotherhood, you're starting to go through their story, and then at one point, you know, you're faced with like, this is an obstacle and we have to go and eliminate the railroad. And I think it really oversimplified something that could have been much more dynamic. It could have much more deeper, and it could have like it really could have led to a much more fleshed out storyline. I think would have like been better off in the long run. But I think maybe out of a lack of writing development or a lack of time, or just, you know, I don't know where they went with it, but that's where we were just left off. But, you know, all in all, I think if I look at how the Brotherhood's path, their story arc ended, you know, with, you know, probably one of my more favorite endings, you know, with reestablishing Liberty Prime, you know, the whole the assault we're doing on the Institute, you know, it's extremely climactic. You know, it reminds me a lot about Fallout 3, and I think it was pretty well fitting for the Brotherhood as it was, you know, built on like technological superiority, technological military might, and everything. So may not be the most morally clean written story or whatever, but to me, I think it is a very emotionally satisfying story in the end. The Institute, so okay, I had to put some thought in about the Institute. So I think, like, you know, there's like a visionary that starts with our introduction with Sean and his idealism as he's trying to teach us about what he stands for and everything. But I think as we get to the end, it feels very rushed, you know? So as we come into Fallout 4, like the Institute was really introduced as like kind of like a mystery, you know. It's, we don't know a lot about them, and if you hadn't played like Fallout 3, and even if you had played Fallout 3 and just didn't really remember too much of the breadcrumbs that it left within there, it's really like kind of the central core of excuse me, of a mystery of what's going on with Fallout 4. So for a big portion of the game, they're really unseen. You know, it's kind of like the shadow that's manipulating like all of the Commonwealth and what's going on here. And so when we get to the point when you finally descend into, you know, the area that is the Institute, you know, you're trying to find these answers. And then what you get is, you know, really a sudden mix of compelling ideas, and you know, facing your son and everything like that. And that's probably the biggest twist. That was a huge twist for me the first time that I played this, is that, you know, that your son is the father of the Institute. So that adds a much more personal stake to the story, I feel like, which I think gives some credence as to why I think the Institute has a pretty decent arc to it a little bit. But but I think the Institute arc definitely skips a few critical steps that's, I think, necessary to really build up the drama that what it is. You're promoted to the director very fast, and there's not really any resistance to this whatsoever. As you're running around and talking to the NPCs inside of the Institute, you know, a lot of them are kind of questioning you, but they're like, well, Father trusts you, so, you know, we'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But there's not really like a lot of factional infighting. You know, there's not really a leadership crisis. There's not really a lot of anything going on. Not a power vacuum that we would have expected after Sean died. You know, there's just not really any opposition to your rise in the Institute. You know, and so just an overall lack of political complexity within the Institute to me is just kind of, I think, a bit short-sighted about how they developed this. You know, one of the characters we ran into in the Institute was Allie Fillmore. So, and she helps lead like the engineering team there. And she's one of the few characters I think that really gives some pretty strong views. She's focused on a lot more of like the progress over like the people. You also ran into, I think, what was his name? Dr. Holdren. Like, he was in bioscience, you know, he was just very, you know, utilitarian, just kind of like really cold. Dr. Lee was like a really good kind of like return from Fallout 3 that we got to see. And I think there was some potential there for some more depth, especially from like a cross game element, you know, coming back from Fallout 3. But she's one of those characters that I think was just like completely underutilized in like this game, you know. And so these characters, they don't really evolve, they don't really challenge anything that we're doing or whatever. So it just, the story just is on a railroad at this point, and it just kind of just continues no matter what you're really doing. And, you know, and then basically, you know, as the Institute, we have to go and destroy both the Brotherhood and the railroad. And as soon as we're done doing that, the game like literally almost just ends immediately. You know, Father dies with nothing, you know, and the Institute, like, it just barely acknowledges that, like, your new leadership, you know, there's kind of nothing, you know, nothing with the sense, you know, there's no tension, no glimpse into how the Commonwealth is going to react to the Institute. So I think the Institute possibly could have had one of the, you know, one of the strongest moral and philosophical routes in terms of a story arc, but it was incredibly ambitious what they were trying to do. But I think they completely missed an opportunity with there, and it just felt very emotionally flat. Like, by the time I got to the end of it, I was just kind of baffled that it was just like, you know, that's it, you know. So I think for that reason, like, yeah, I kind of put it a little bit lower on the list. The railroad, I'm going to say, is kind of probably my least favorite, you know. I coming from Fallout 3 and doing the I can't remember the name of the quest, but I'm just going to say like the name of the dude, Harkness. But, you know, I felt there was a lot more depth to that than like a lot of what we ran into here in Fallout 4, you know. very like kind of passionate cause from their standpoint, but you know, I think the railroad in itself was very underdeveloped in the execution of that story arc. Um, they probably had, I think, one of the clearest moral goals in Fallout 4, and it was all about, you know, liberating all of the enslaved synths as they seen it. Um, and so while they had a very clear um, route and what their ideology was framed around, like the execution of everything is like super wonky as we get into it, you know. So you really start your relationship, you know, you go off, it's, you don't have to really find it at all. It's just, you kind of just stumble across the quest for like the freedom trail. It basically like kind of forces it on you, you know. And so like it really kind of like, I think, undermines the mystery of this well hidden, you know, underground railroad organization, you know. And it begins with you know, meeting Deacon and everybody, and you know, his character is really complex. You know, it's just kind of like a shifting identity depending on what his mood or what is or whatever. He's a pretty interesting character overall, but like it just doesn't go more than an inch deep, you know, on like kind of like the one-liners that he has, you know. And he's really the window into the railroad faction that just never really kind of opens up to some degree. You know, Desdemona, she's like the leader of the railroad. She's really, really, really dedicated to like the overall cause, and her idealism is what drives the group forward. But you know, she lacks like that personal growth in her character. You know, she never really has to reflect on any of the hard decisions that they make, and her dialogue in the game, if I recall, didn't really go beyond kind of like the calls to action that we have to do. I think like one of the characters that we ran into at the railroad that I felt was underutilized, and I wish there was much more to it because I think it would have been a good one. But Glory, you know, Glory was one of the synth operatives that we had to work with at one point in time, and you know, she had a very noble and I would say like tragic death of how it happened, and there wasn't really any kind of major story consequence out of it, or just I felt like it just wasn't developed too well. So, you know, the story arc of the railroad, I think, had some pretty well designed mission sets. You know, some stealth operations that we had to do. There was like the synth extractions we had to do, but the storytelling of it, I think, didn't play out so well. So there wasn't a lot of the internal conflict or debates. No betrayals. There was not really an antagonist, you know, within the railroad that kind of really brought it there. So, and the war, and I've brought this up, the sudden war with the Brotherhood felt incredibly forced and rushed. You know, there's no ideological debate between them. You know, no negotiations. There wasn't really anything that allowed us either trying to find a peaceful solution, or whatever. It just kind of abruptly escalates into just this full scale war without anything. So. And then when we get to like the institute itself, you know, and you build up with like freeing the synths and everything, and then you get to like the ending, it's incredibly like abrupt, you know. And you know, it's like, what's the Commonwealth's reaction to the synth freedom? You know, the world doesn't really seem to change so much, and so you're just kind of left wondering at this point, like, you know, what now? So I think the railroad was intended to be kind of like the emotional heart to Fallout 4, but it just fell far short of that in my opinion, and just really as a result I think was kind of like the weakest storyline, the weakest ending, you know, in Fallout 4. So you know, so that's kind of like my thoughts on like some of the endings there. I think, you know, in terms of like, I think I had talked about before, but in terms of like the DLC, like I think Far Harbor really is like one of the best ones, and I would throw it up against the New Vegas DLCs. Like, this is a really well written, you know, environmental storytelling was pretty good. It's a very player driven narrative that you kind of run into. You know, you run into this island completely cloaked in like fog, you know, radiated fog and what have you. there's a really kind of like eerie sense of like as you walk around, like you just, you know, you're just kind of like what is going to happen the whole time. And you have like this focus on like what it means to question your memory, your identity, you know. I think like self-deception, you know, like these are some of like the core themes that we see as we talk to and meet Dima, you know, the synth leader there who had ties to Nick Valentine. And like actually like being able to bring Nick Valentine with us, you know, who's like a central character, this helps only like bring out the best of like I think the DLC story by trying to really, you know, tie in Nick's backstory into the DLC. And it really made like Far Harbor feel much more like a continuation of like the main game, you know, rather than just kind of like some little side adventure, what have you. So I think like some of the moral decisions that I was faced with as I went through Far Harbor, you know, those were some of the more difficult ones that we had to go through. So, you know, that was like looking at like how can we expose the secrets that can destroy like the fragile peace that existed within the island. You know, do we like erase Dima's memory to cover up past sins? Or do we trigger like the war between the different factions with the Children of Adam or what have you? So they're not like simple choices to be able to make, and there's a lot of consequences that happen as a result of what you decide to do. The gameplay within Far Harbor too, like I think it was kind of nice how it shifted between certain elements. Like for instance, the one thing I'll talk about is like the memory puzzle quest. You know, that was like kind of notable. Everyone I think was trying to prepare me for what I was going to come across, you know, without actually giving me spoilers. And by the time I had gotten there, you know, it was so different. I think a lot of people don't like that, but for me, like I love puzzles. I love missed games. Like I love puzzles, and that was you know, that was like to me like kind of one of the shining moments of how something unique and different was included in a Fallout that, you know, I was able to get a lot of. That wasn't just, you know, kind of the run of the mill running around shooting scoot type thing, you know. And I love the gameplay in here, but it was just kind of neat to be able to see something a bit different, you know. And I think that's a good example of how Bethesda and what they were trying to experiment with in Fallout 4 with some new mechanics in a really kind of meaningful way, you know, which was really nice. So companions wise, like I'm gonna say like my top like 4 companions, you know, like I think Kate, and it was all based off of like the story arcs of the companions, but like Kate, you know, I think had probably one of the more emotionally kind of like charged story arcs in the game. You know, she was like this chem addicted cage fighter, you know, and as you progress along her storyline, like she's trying to trudge towards like, you know, being sober, you know, and she felt like just this real human being who, you know, who gets angry, you know, who gets hurt, you know, and she's just really trying to survive in like the only way that she knows how. The thing that I like about Kate is we actually have a personal quest to go and visit like Vault. I can't remember the name of the vault. 80, not 81, maybe it was 95 or something. But you know, that was our attempt to try to get her clean, and it was an extremely impactful moment from what I remember in the game, as we went through that, you know, and helping her overcome like the struggle we went through. It wasn't just about like perks or anything. Like it was kind of like a meaningful achievement that we went through with Kate. Curie, she's in the top for me. You know, I think seeing her transformation from like a Mrs. Nanny robot into a full like sentient synth, you know, represents, I think, both like something I view as like philosophical and emotional as we see that transition happening. You know, she really began her journey like extremely curious about the world. You know, she was all about the science, about morality, about trying to understand everything. And then she, you know, evolved into this person that is really seeking to understand like what it means to actually feel, you know, what it means to know, to question, right? And so the quest that we go through to actually become, you know, more human, I think is like not only like really unique, but it creates like some really interesting dialogue that we get into about like what it means to be like consciousness, you know, and like what we're seeing with artificial intelligence, which I know kind of resonates a lot of like what's happening, you know, with the development of like generative AI and everything like that, you know. So it's kind of neat to see that kind of explored within the game, and seeing her struggle with like all those new emotions that she's getting and everything, you know, I think it really brings life to her character, you know, as we see like a lot of people talk bad about like, you know, the synths and everything like that. But Kiri's, I think, kind of like one of the shining elements of what something could be, you know. And Nick Valentine is like definitely like up there in the top for me too. You know, he's this detective. He has an extremely tragic backstory, you know, and a solid moral compass that I feel is probably one of the most genuine in the game. You know, he's completely haunted by the memories of this person that he was before that died, you know, before the war. But yet where we're at right now in the game, like he chooses to completely help. You know, he has his detective agency. He's wanting to help people because he thinks, you know, overall it's like it's just the right thing to do. You know, you know, his overall history that he has is really, you know, complex. And as I mentioned before, like being able to bring him into like the whole Far Harbor storyline, I think just really deepened his element of storyline even more in the game. So he's got an amazing voice actor. You know, he's got a really awesome personality, and I think he was just really an awesome companion to be able to have around. I loved like all the moments that we had with Nick. And then I'll kind of end it with like, you know, I think one of my probably my top favorite, which was Paladin Dance. I think Paladin Dance has the most emotionally complex story arc in the game, completely without a doubt. You know, he is through and through a soldier. He's a loyalist. You know, he's an incredible leader. You know, from the what he stands for and how he cares about his people. You know, his squad, his, you know, their morale, their safety, their well-being, their everything. You know, he is what I think of like when you think Brotherhood and what they are for like their discipline and everything. You know, and as you progress through his storyline and you know the choices that he made and the consequences that he left with, and then progressing to where he actually finds out that he's a synth, and he's literally ordering you to kill himself, you know, because he just can't stand for that. You know, it was a very heartbreaking reveal for me, you know, the first time I came across it, or even again just the second time. You know, it was just, you know, that doesn't get old, you know. And you know, being able to see like how his character just kind of really struggles to grapple with the truth of actually like who he is and the betrayal that he faces with the Brotherhood. Like it's just, I think that is what really made his storyline like so good for me. So, and you as a player character are put into that position of what you're choosing to do, you know, to either help him or kill him, you know. And I think that was one of the more powerful choices that we see in Fallout. So, you know, in terms of the companions, those are probably like my top ones, and a lot of them were just completely story driven, you know. Like I think they had super good ones. I talked a bit about like some of the weaker ones, you know, and the one that I really wanted to focus on was Preston, because Preston, I think, is a companion that could have had so much more development to him, that could have made him such a better companion. You know, I think they just completely missed the opportunity here. The fall of Quincy, I think, was the missed opportunity that we could have brought him there, because, you know, he talked about his guilt as one of the last minute men, you know, and he was left with this burden of really trying to rebuild everything, you know, and that could have been his personal story arc, you know, but he pretty much becomes the meme of Fallout 4, you know. And once you get through the castle and you become the general, like he literally just turns into this person that's just like, you know, I have another settlement that needs your help. You know, I have this. There's just nothing personal with him after that. And we don't get to dive deeper into his character. And it just super missed opportunity there, you know. So unfortunately, you know, Preston's someone that I think could have been, you know, a fan favorite if his storyline was done right, but it really wasn't. And you know, so I see, you know, all the companions are not universally good, they're not universally bad. You know, there's definitely some very shining bright moments in the writing that they have in here, which really shows me that Bethesda can do some good writing, you know. But then there's just some elements that they just completely fell flat on, you know. And so it just kind of underscores, I think, like that, you know, they have, you know, sometimes they miss the beat, you know, and kind of developing the depth behind it. But anyways, folks, I know I've been kind of rambling a lot. I just wanted to get a lot of my thoughts out now that I've kind of completed all the endings. did all the companion storylines, did all the DLCs, and just really kind of wrap up like my overall thoughts of like where we're kind of left at with this. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. This is probably going to be my last Fallout 4 of my full Let's Play series. The next time we pick up Fallout 4, we're going to do a survival mode playthrough. But for now, this is going to call it an end to this series. I sincerely appreciate everyone who has been here throughout this. It's been an incredibly fun journey, like going through this game. It's truly an amazing game. I really, really enjoy it. So, but absolutely, thank you all for watching. Oddball, I got you, man. No, thank you so much. So yeah, we'll pick back up with some probably some Fallout 1 hopefully here soon, and we got Fallout 76 going on, and I'm still trying to finish Oblivion too, so we have those kind of going on. But you know, we'll stop some Fallout 4 for now, and probably around the end of the year, beginning of next year, we'll pick up Fallout 4 and we'll start that survival mode playthrough. So other than that, I appreciate everyone for watching. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will catch you later, okay?